The first advice is that you should use blockchain tracking on the source database. This ensures that the level 1 backups will be much faster because RMAN does not need to fully scan the database. Especially for larger databases, it is paramount that you are using blockchain tracking, otherwise the level 1s will take too long. When you use the driver script to perform backups, for convenience, at the end of the operation, the script will print statistics from the RMAN operation. For instance, you can see the input bytes. This is the amount of data that RMAN had to read in order to produce the backup set. For a level 0 backup, you will need to fully scan the entire database, so input bytes will be more or less equal to the size of the database. But you should see that the level 1 backups needs to scan less data than this. You should see input bytes decreasing when you do the level 1 backups. If that's not the case, you need to worry. If input bytes matches more or less the database size, it is an indication that blockchain tracking is not being used by RMAN when you're doing level 1 backups. There could be multiple reasons for this. One of them relates to the way that change tracking works internally. When RMAN produces backups, for each of them, it'll put information about the backup into a bitmap. The bitmap can hold 8 backups. When you do the 9th backup, the first one is aged out. The migration backups needs to find information from the previous migration level 1 backup. But if you have done many level 1 incrementals for other use cases in between, there might not be enough room in the bitmap. You can increase the size of the bitmap. The default is 8. You could change it to 12 or 16 by using the underscore parameter. The situation with bitmap that gets under pressure can be worse in a data guard situation because the standby database will update the bitmap on the primary database. This ensures that when you switch over, the next level 1 doesn't need to fully scan the database. But the flip side is that all the backups from the standby database takes room in the bitmap on the primary database. You can turn this behavior off using a different underscore parameter. Which method suits your purpose? You need to determine. You can follow the must notes for more information. It's also very good to know that when you convert a standby database to snapshot standby, the blockchain's tracking information is reset. So the next level 1 backup will need to fully scan the database. For the production migration, this is not an issue. But when you do test migrations, you can do those from a snapshot standby database, so we don't interrupt the business on the primary. But when you do that, when you convert to snapshot standby to make a test of the final level 1 incremental backup, you will see that it takes longer because the bitmap has been reset and we need to full scan the database even for a level 1 backup. For production migration, don't worry, but be aware of this for your test migrations. And also, if you plan on backing up from the standby database on the source side, if you have blockchains tracking and you do it on a standby database, you must have a license for Active Data Guard. If you don't have that license, don't use blockchain tracking on your standby database.